Yep. Okay. Anyways, I have today off, and I'm just kind of like, you know, getting a pulse on the official story of the day, and it's like politics always, the official story. So I'm gonna try to do something that's gonna be kind of impossible, and I haven't prepared for it. I come completely unprepared, totally off the cuff. So we're talking about, like, politics is the official story almost every day. No matter what. I could pull up BitChute and do all this shit to show that, no matter what angle you look at things, politics is like the big part of it. So, for example, the official story could be that, politics is all an illusion, and they'll have a big story about how politics is all fake. Well, that's still politics. That's politics is the official story. That the official story is that politics isn't real, it's all an illusion, and here's an hour-long video, about it. Or that Trump is, whatever. Trump is, he's Israel first, or he's Freemason, or whatever, and then here's an hour-long video on it, Or it'll be, Trump is great, and, here's an hour-long video on why Trump is great. No matter how you look at it, Richie from Boston or somebody like that will put out now. Richie from Boston is all about how the politics is all fake and every blah blah blah. And he'll put out a video that's supposed to be about drones, and then go in to talk about how, well, Trump is behind all. It's a fake alien invasion, a staged alien invasion, and Trump and Elon Musk are behind it. And then he'll go into about how Trump is whatever, a reptilian or a Freemason or Illuminati or whatever. Nonetheless, whatever the case, the official story is always politics, no matter what. Whether it's debunking politics as all staged theater, or that the fake staged theater of politics is behind the drones that are fake and staged, and on and on and on and on and on it goes, and on and on it goes. And so, and it reminds me of something. And so I want to talk about the fake, staged political arena, how it's all fake and staged, okay? So it reminds me of something. It reminds me of my parents growing up, since as far back as I can remember. The political stage, the political arena where you've got Kamala versus Trump. Well, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of my parents, where you've got mom on one side of the stage and dad on the other side, and they're fighting, and there's court battles, custody battles, and, who's the righteous one? You must choose. Who are you going to choose, your mother or your father? They're fighting in a court battle, and, it's all about you, and then la 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 la, on and on and on, and and then it goes on and on for years. Well, that's my life story. The Republican father versus the Democrat mother. They're fighting and battling, and votes are being cast in the courtroom, and the jury, and blah, blah, blah. And now you must decide, who do you want, son? Do you want your father's son, or do you want your mother? Because it's a 12-year court battle. And, was that all fake and staged? Was my experience with my parents all just as fake and staged as the this staged Kamala versus Trump? And who are you going to choose, son? Are you going to choose Kamala, or are you going to choose Trump? Who are you going to choose, son? Your mother, or are you going to choose your father? Because everything is this big battle in the skies, one versus the other. You know, I mean, really, it's kind of like, yeah, yep. I've seen all this before. I feel like I've been here, but seems like I've been here before. Now, so was this nearly 20-year long battle in the stars between my mom and my dad, was that all fake and staged? I mean, yeah, I suppose it's possible. But I don't think that my mom and my dad were necessarily behind it. My mom and my dad were puppets. They didn't necessarily know it was fake or staged. But then again, it goes deeper, because my parents were faking and staging their roles as well, because it wasn't so much about custody of me and my brother as it was using me and my brother to attack each other, because it's a big battle of the stars, mom versus dad. Who will you choose, son? Your mother or your father? And so their stage presence was about that. It was all about me and my brother, when in reality they were just using me and my brother to attack each other. But yet at the same time, though, they were puppeted, because they didn't create this whole theater themselves. I mean, when you think about the breakdown of the family nucleus, well, it's kind of like that Iron Maiden Number of the Beast, the cover of the album Number of the Beast, where you have like Eddie from Iron Maiden, and he was puppeting a little Satan, and Eddie was really big, and he was puppeting with his hand this little Satan, but then above Eddie was actually Satan puppeting Eddie. So it gets a lot more complex than just the simple answer of, oh, it's all fake and staged. Yes and no. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's much more complex. That's an oversimplification to say that a scenario like my mom and my dad doing this 15-year custody battle of me and my brother was just this big staged fake event. Well, yes and no. Because my parents were being puppeted by the system, because the system is all about breaking down the family nucleus. So my parents were being puppeted by the system. But yet my parents were also faking and staging, pretending that they cared about me and my brother, when in reality they were only using me and my brother to get at each other. Who will you choose, son? Are you going to choose your father or your mother? And I mean, this went on for like 15 years. It just never, all my whole life, that's all it was your mother's evil. Oh no, your father's evil. Oh, I'm taking your father to court. You need to do this and say that because your father is evil. And then, my dad's like, your mother is evil. You need to choose this and do that. And these are the things you need to do because your mother is... And that's the same as the Trump and Kamala, or whoever it is, Trump versus Clinton, and Trump versus Kamala. And this is always what it's always ever been. I remember when I was a kid and I was still going to daycare. That must have been in 1978. The election, the 1978 election between Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. I actually remember that. And I remember that I wanted Jimmy Carter. I didn't like Ronald Reagan. I mean, I was 4 years old, and I was like, I didn't like Ronald Reagan. I liked Jimmy Carter. And my parents were divorced. At that time, I was living with my mom, and my mom was sending me, and from what I would imagine my brother, but I don't remember him being around at the daycare. Maybe he was in a different section because he's 3 years older than me. But I was living with my mom, and she was dropping us off at the daycare. And yeah, and it was the battle between Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan, you know. So was my experience with my mom and my dad, was that all fake and staged, you know? How is it any different than like Kamala versus Trump? You must choose, son. Which one is it going to be? You know, what's the third option? You know, when I was about 9 years old, my mom presented the third option, which was for me to go to for me to be foster care. And my mom presented the option, you can either go with your dad because I can't afford you and your brother. So one of you has to go live with your dad, and because your dad likes you better than he likes your brother, you're going to have to go live with your dad. And I'm like, no, because I had already betrayed my dad and chose my mom at that time. And my mom's telling me to lie to my dad and tell my dad I want to go live with him because she can't afford to pay for me and my brother, and that one of us is going to have to go back. And so I'm like this, she wants me to be this secret agent where I lie to my dad to go live with my dad until my mom can get on her feet enough to where, and then she'll take my dad to court and regain custody of me. And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, and I'm like 9 years old. And her third option she presented was foster care. The only other thing is you'll have to go into foster care. And I immediately was like, I want to go into foster care then. And then she's like, oh, well, you know, no, I can't, no, I'm sorry, you know, I can't give you that third option. Same with politics. You got Republican and Democrat. Oh, but then you've got, you know, Libertarian Party and the Green Party and these third options. But really, they're not really there. Just like my mom's like, your third option is you can go to foster care. And I'm like, that's what I want to do then. And then oh, no, sorry, we can't, no. Even though, you know, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to go live with, you know. So anyway, no, but going back to what's the official story, you can say that the official story isn't politics because politics is fake, but then that's the official story. Like I said, you go into any of these platforms and you've got like hour-long documentaries about how politics is all fake and staged. Well, there it is. There's politics being exposed as fake and staged. That's the official story. And then there's another official story that politics isn't fake, or some of it's real and some of it's not. Then you've got the official story that the drones, and then of course that's tied to politics because the evil Democrat, the evil globalist politicians are behind it all, and Trump is part of the thing. He's pretending to be against globalism when really he's part of it, and on and on and on and on. And it's all Freemason, and it's reptilian, and it's Illuminati, and it's it's Israel first, and it's always politics is fake is the official story. Is politics is fake. Well, there's politics. No matter what you do, where you go, where you look, politics is always the official story. Whether the official story is that politics is fake, and here's a 10-hour documentary on how politics is fake, or whatever, however you look at it, it's just politics. And again, seems like I've been here before. It seems so familiar, you know? All my entire life growing up was choose a side. Here's your father and here's your mother. And which side? Here's a third option. Oh, I'll take that. Oh, never mind. We're not giving you that one. All there is choose. You must choose, you know. You know, so this idea, you know, and somebody could say to me, say while I was going through that all growing up, and somebody came up to me and said, you know what? That whole thing is all just fake and staged. You're stupid if you believe that this big battle between you and your mom is real. It's all just fake and staged. It's all fake. It's all just a a conspiracy against you. It's just designed. This whole thing, battle between your mom and your dad, is all just designed. It's all a conspiracy against you. Don't believe it. They're both in it together. They're both, your mom and your dad are both in it together, and all it is a conspiracy against you. You know, if somebody were to come up to me and tell me that while all that was going on, I might be like, yeah, that could be true, but what do you want me to do about it? What am I going to do? I mean, what should I do in that situation if my mom and my dad are staging this fake fight between each other as a plot against me to basically like abort me or whatever? Say that is true, but okay, thanks for telling me that. Now what do you want me to do about it? What am I supposed to do? Well, don't choose your mom or your dad. Okay, all right. So if I don't choose, well, I'm still either only going to be with my mom or my dad. Or the third option is, as a 9-year-old, I can just pack up my shit and go fucking, hit the street, a 9-year-old kid, and end up getting raped and fucking, everything else, and probably killed and raped and everything else. Well, yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to just pack up your shit and leave both your mom and your dad as a 9-year-old and just go get butt raped and, and killed and stuff, because that's the better alternative, because it's all fake and staged. Your mom and your dad, they're just, it's all fake. They're both in it together, and it's a conspiracy against you. So you're better off just, go to the street and risk getting butt raped and murdered and stuff. And you're better off doing that, Anyways, so all this is like very complex, And like I said, it seems like I've been here before. Choose. Who are you going to choose? Father Trump or Mother Kamala? I mean, this has been my whole entire life has been this. This is my life story. It's never ended. It's just a constant ongoing, like, you must choose. There can be only one. And then the official story is, don't believe it. It's all staged. It's all fake. It's just a conspiracy against you. And after a while, it's just kind of like, why do I care about any of this? Why do I even care if it's fake or staged? I don't care about any of it. I don't care what the official story is. If the official story is that it's fake and staged, if the official story is that we live in a simulation and everything is fake, I don't care if the official story is it's all true and really, the one to choose of the two is going to be really important to choose. I don't care about any of it. I don't care what the official story is. I don't care what the side story is. It's like after a while, it's like whatever, dude. What does it even matter? What does it even matter what the truth is about it? Does it even, that's a Megadeth song, where he says, where do we go from here? And should we really care? Should we even care? Like, why should I even care whether the Trump versus Kamala thing is all a big staged fake event or not? Why would I care? Well, the reason that you need to care is because, why should I care either way? Well, you should care because this or on the other side, either way, whatever the case, like, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Does it really matter? Just like it was supposed to be this big deal that really mattered a lot between my mom and my dad. I was supposed to really care so much about, oh my God, this is the most important, oh my God, my parents were like that. It was like, your mother is evil, oh, your father's evil. It's so important that and you're just a child and you don't understand, but you don't understand how important this is. And boom, bam, boom, a big war. All growing up is always this big battle in the stars, Father Trump versus Mother Kamala, And when has it ever ended? It's never ended. It's just constant, non-stop, man. And all that did was drive me to the streets. It's like, Yeah, so by the time I'm 18, it's like, okay, now that we've done all this battle, nonstop battling all these years for supposed custody of you, now that you're 18, now neither of us care, and you can just go fucking rot in the streets. We've disowned you. Fuck off. You know what? So did it even matter at all? Did any of that even matter at all? No, because by the time I turned 18, both of my parents were like, fuck you. Fuck off. Go away. You're 18 now. We're not legally bound to do anything, be involved with you at any level. By law, we don't have to do, we can completely amputate any and all relations with you for whatever reason or no reason at all and just go fuck off. So, but then it never ends. So I'm on the street for 10 years. I don't know what was going on in politics then. Bill Clinton was president when I was 18, and when I entered the streets, like that cut off everything. I don't know what was going on in politics or nothing, because I was living in sticks and eating out of dumpsters for 10 years. I don't know what was going on. While everyone else was starting to, use computers during that time, I didn't even know that people were using computers. I didn't know nothing. All I was doing was just, living in sticks, eating out of dumpsters and spare changing, and getting arrested for sleeping in a bush, and getting arrested for, sitting at a park bench, and getting arrested or for any and everything, just existing, constantly getting arrested for existing. And that's it for 10 years, Then that system that all this was built around decided to force me back into this shithole thing they call society, and forced me back into it. And so then when I get back into it, then it's like Obama. Who was it before? Was it Clinton before Obama? No, it was Bush. That's right. Then Bush with 9/11 and all that shit, right? When 9/11 happened, I was living in a homeless housing program in a 5-bedroom house with like 9 other homeless guys. When Bush was president, during Bush's first term, and I remember 9/11, seeing it on the news and shit, and I knew right away, like, it's totally. I remember when I was watching, I was like, dude, like within a week, I already knew that 9/11 was fake. I mean, because the news reported it. The news showed that like 2 or 3 people in the stock market like got mega rich off of the 9/11 thing, and when they reported that on the news, I was like, dude, this whole thing was rigged to fucking. So that small group of people could get mega rich off of the 9/11 thing. The news said it itself, and I knew right then, So then, you got all that crazy insanity with George W., and that was when I was just getting forced back into society. And then, then Obama. And, but it's always been, who are you going to decide? Father Trump or Mother Kamala? It's always been that since I was a kid, since before I can even remember. And so, like, somebody could say, well, that's all been fake and staged the whole time. That battle between your mom and your dad, it was all fake and staged. The battle between, Jimmy Carter and Reagan was all fake and staged. The battle, all these battles, it's all been fake and staged. It's all just a false flag conspiracy at you. And I'd be like, okay, well, what am I going to do with that information now? What do I do with that? Because it's never ended. It's been like that since before I can remember. And I'm 50 years old, and that's always been the story, nonstop. You must choose a side. So, whatever. Just an observation I wanted to point out, since politics is always the headline story,